Right now, while you are watching this, there is a very real chance your body is burning belly fat, and you have absolutely no idea it is happening. Even worse, you might be days away from quitting the exact plan that finally started working, all because of one lying little machine on your bathroom floor. Yes, I am talking about your scale. Most people treat it like a judge. The number drops, and they feel amazing. The number stays still, and they feel defeated. But here's the truth nobody tells you. The scale can stay frozen on the exact same number while your body is actively melting down its most dangerous fat. That is not motivation talk. That is real biochemistry. And it is the reason so many people give up at the moment their body finally flips the fat-burning switch. They cannot see the change, so they assume there is no change. They quit 3 feet from gold, standing on a scale that was never telling the full story. So today I am handing you a completely different scoreboard. 7 signs your body sends out when it is genuinely burning belly fat long before the scale ever catches up. Some of these signs are subtle. One of them is honestly a little gross. That is number 4. And I promise the science behind it will completely blow your mind. A couple of them are things you have probably already noticed and totally misread as problems, when they were actually solid proof that you were quietly winning. Stay with me through all 7, because the last one is my favorite. It tells you the most dangerous fat in your body is finally leaving. Let us begin. Sign number 1. Your face and your fingers change before your belly ever does. This surprises almost everyone, but the first visible change usually is not the stomach at all. Think about the last time somebody said, "Hey, did you lose weight? Your face looks thinner." Maybe you checked the mirror and thought, "My stomach looks exactly the same." They were not imagining things. Deep inside your abdomen, underneath the fat you can pinch, there is a hidden second layer of fat called visceral fat. You cannot see it. You cannot grab it. It wraps itself quietly around your vital organs, your liver, your kidneys, your pancreas, even pressing close against your heart. And this fat does not just sit there like harmless padding. Visceral fat is the most metabolically active fat in your entire body, working around the clock. It behaves less like storage and more like a rogue gland, constantly releasing fatty acids and inflammatory signals directly into your bloodstream 24 hours a day. Now here is the good news. Because visceral fat is so active, it is often among the very first fat your body taps when insulin finally drops. That happens when you eat real whole foods, cut the constant sugar spikes, and keep protein high. Your body targets that dangerous deep fat first because it wants it gone. And when visceral fat starts shrinking, inflammation shrinks with it. When inflammation drops, your body finally stops clinging to all that extra water it was holding. So where do you notice that first? In the places where your skin is thinnest. Around your eyes, across your cheeks, and along your fingers. That is why your face suddenly looks more defined. That is why your ring spins looser on your finger or slides off easier than it has in years. The scale might read the exact same number it did 2 weeks ago, but your ring is telling you the truth. When jewelry and scale disagree, believe the jewelry. And if your face is already changing, wait until you hear what is happening at your waistline. Because there is an actual measurable tipping point. That is sign number 2. Sign number 2. Your waist shrinks while the scale stands completely still. If I could hand you one single tool, it would be a cheap, flexible tape measure. Because here is the frustrating truth. You can lose 0 pounds on the scale and still lose real visible inches off your waist at the very same time. How is that even possible? Picture a pound of fat and a pound of muscle sitting side by side. They weigh exactly the same, 1 pound each, but they look completely different. Fat is fluffy, bulky, and takes up serious space, like a puffy pillow. Muscle is dense and compact, more like a solid brick. So imagine what happens when you are doing things right. You are walking daily, moving after meals, eating whole foods, and keeping your protein intake up. Your body starts releasing that bulky belly fat while holding on to or even slowly building dense, lean muscle underneath. 2 changes happening at the exact same time. The scale adds it all together and shrugs. Same total weight, it says. Nothing to report here. But your body just swapped a pillow for a brick. You are literally trading volume for density. Your pants fit differently. Your belt moves in a notch. Your reflection changes shape. And the scale sleeps through everything. This is not just a nice theory either. Researchers recently put a hard number on it, and honestly, this finding should be shouted from the rooftops. A study published in 2025 found something remarkable about people who lost roughly 5% or more of their deep visceral organ fat. Those people became about 3 times more likely to see real improvements in their waist measurement and their metabolic health markers. 3 times more likely. Just 5%. That is the tipping point where your waistline and your blood work start moving in the same direction, even while the scale stays stuck. So here is your assignment, and I genuinely want you to do this. Take a tape measure and wrap it around your waist, right at the belly button, not where your pants sit, right at the navel. Do it first thing in the morning, before any food, before your coffee, once every single week. Write the number down with the date. That little strip of tape will reveal progress that the scale has been actively hiding from you this whole time. Now, those first 2 signs are things you can see, but the next one is something you will feel, usually around 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Sign number 3, your afternoon energy crash quietly disappears. Let me describe an afternoon that you probably know far too well, because most people live it daily. It is 2:30. Lunch was a couple hours ago. Suddenly it hits you. That heavy, foggy eyelids made of cement feeling that drags your whole day down. You reach for another coffee, or you hunt through the pantry for anything sweet, just to survive until dinner. Sound familiar? Here is why that crash happens. Most people run their entire day on sugar and fast-burning carbs, and sugar behaves exactly like paper thrown on a fire. A bright flare, then gone. Every meal spikes your blood sugar. Every spike triggers a crash. Every crash sends you hunting for the next snack, the next coffee, the next quick fix. You are riding a blood sugar roller coaster from breakfast until bedtime, and the wildest part is that you never even realized you bought the ticket. But think about what belly fat actually is. It is not just something you want gone. It is stored energy, hours and hours of fuel, locked inside a vault. When your body finally learns to open that vault, everything about your energy changes. Because fat does not burn like paper. Fat burns like a thick log, long, slow, steady, and even. No dramatic flare, no sudden crash, just consistent, reliable heat that carries you smoothly through hour after hour of your day. And it gets even better. As your body breaks down fat, your liver converts some of it into special molecules called ketones. Your brain absolutely loves ketones. They are a clean, steady fuel that supports your mitochondria, those tiny power plants inside your cells, helping them produce energy far more efficiently all day long. So here is the sign to watch for. You go 3, 4, even 5 hours between meals, and you feel completely fine. Not shaky, not desperate, not hangry, just calm, steady, and clear. If your 2 o'clock crash has mysteriously gone missing, do not go looking for it. That steadiness is a fat-burning announcement. It means your body finally cracked open its own fat stores, and this signal usually shows up before the mirror changes and long before the scale moves. Which brings us to sign number 4. This is the one I warned you about earlier, the weird one. And it shows up quite literally inside your mouth. Sign number 4. Your breath changes. Okay, deep breath. Let us talk about the gross one, because people genuinely panic when this happens, and they really should not. At some point, as your body shifts into serious fat-burning mode, you may notice your breath tastes slightly metallic. Some people describe it as faintly fruity, almost like a very mild whiff of nail polish remover. And when people notice it, they immediately assume something is wrong. They think they are getting sick. But here is the wild part. That strange taste might be one of the most honest fat loss signals your body can possibly give you. Let me explain. When your body switches from burning sugar to burning fat, stored fat, including that deep belly fat, gets broken down into fatty acids that travel to your liver. Your liver takes those fatty acids and converts them into ketone bodies for fuel. There are 3 types of ketone bodies, and one is called acetone. Yes, acetone. The same family of molecule found in nail polish remover, except this batch was manufactured inside your own body from your own burning fat. Here is the interesting thing about acetone. Your body does not use all of it. So what does it do with the extra? It simply breathes it out. Acetone evaporates very easily, so the excess exits your body through your lungs, your breath, and your saliva. That is the taste. That is the smell. That metallic edge on your tongue is fat, physically and chemically, leaving your body through your mouth. Think about how incredible that actually is for a second, and it connects to something even bigger that most people have never heard. Scientists once traced exactly where lost fat goes when it leaves the human body. They found that the majority of it, around 84%, leaves as carbon dioxide breathed out through your lungs. You literally exhale most of your fat. You do not sweat it out. It does not magically vanish into nothing. Breath by breath, your lungs are the exit door that your belly fat walks through. So next time you catch that strange taste, reframe it completely. That is not bad breath. That is a receipt, printed proof that you are burning fat. Now, if you have a big meeting or a date, do not worry. Some water with fresh lemon helps neutralize it, and it naturally fades over time. As your body becomes more efficient at using ketones, the effect settles down. So do not be annoyed by it, and definitely do not be scared of it. And speaking of things people misread, the next sign is one that almost everybody experiences early on, and almost nobody ever connects it to fat loss. Sign number 5. You are suddenly running to the bathroom constantly. Have you ever started eating cleaner and noticed within days that you are peeing way more, noticeably more than usual, maybe even waking up at night for it? Most people ignore this completely or quietly worry that something strange is going on. Almost nobody realizes it is actually one of the clearest early signals that the fat-burning process has officially started. Here is the mechanism behind it. Your body keeps a backup fuel tank of stored carbohydrate called glycogen, held mostly inside your liver and your muscles. Think of it as an emergency sugar reserve. Now here is the detail that changes everything. Glycogen is a water hog. Every single gram of glycogen binds roughly 3 grams of water to itself. Glycogen never gets stored dry. It gets stored soaking wet. Your body is essentially holding a sponge full of sugar water inside your liver and muscles. When you start eating in a fat-burning way, one of the first things your body does is drain that sugar tank and burn through those glycogen reserves. This is exactly what we want. Your liver basically needs to empty its sugar tank before it fully commits to burning fat. Fat loss truly begins in the liver, but when that glycogen gets used up, all of the bonded water gets released, and your body has one main exit route for extra water: the bathroom. That is why the first week or two often brings a surprisingly fast drop on the scale, followed by a slowdown that makes people think they have stalled. They have not stalled. That early drop was mostly water and inflammation leaving. The slowdown is exactly where the real fat burning finally takes over the job. Sadly, this is where most people quit. At the precise moment the real work begins. Please, whatever you do, do not become one of those people. Now, 2 things you need to do while this is happening, and I will warn you. The first one is going to sound completely backwards to you. First, drink more water, not less. I know, you are already flooding the bathroom, but your body is flushing fluids fast, and you must replace what is leaving. Second, add a pinch of high-quality salt to your water and season your food properly. Because when water leaves your body, it never leaves alone. It takes passengers with it: sodium, potassium, magnesium, and when those 3 minerals run low, some strange things start happening, which leads perfectly into sign number 6. Sign number 6: random muscle cramps and that annoying little eye twitch. This one catches almost everyone completely off guard, and it feels genuinely alarming at first. A tiny flutter under your eye that refuses to stop. A foot that seizes up when you point your toes. A calf cramp that ambushes you at night. Your first instinct is to think something is seriously wrong. And I understand, a 2 a.m. Charlie horse does not exactly feel like winning. But here is the truth. These twitches and cramps are usually a direct downstream effect of exactly what we just covered in sign number 5. Remember, when your body drains its glycogen and dumps all that stored water, it flushes electrolytes out along with it, mainly magnesium, sodium, and potassium. Those 3 minerals happen to be precisely what your muscles and nerves depend on to fire smoothly and then, just as importantly, to fully relax afterward. When those minerals dip low, your nerves get jumpy and your muscles get twitchy. That flutter under your eye is not a malfunction or a warning of disease. It is your body waving a tiny white flag saying, "Hey, I am busy burning fat and flushing water up here. Please send me more minerals." The fix is refreshingly simple. Add a pinch of high-quality salt to your water throughout the day and load your plate with potassium-rich foods. Green leafy vegetables are fantastic, and avocados are champions. Here's a fact that surprises almost everyone, and it might change your grocery list forever. A regular avocado contains roughly twice the potassium of a whole banana, with only a small fraction of the sugar. The banana's famous reputation is mostly marketing. Many people also do great with a little extra magnesium in the evening, which has a bonus effect of improving sleep, and better sleep supports fat loss. So handle your minerals and the cramps settle down quickly. Best of all, you get to keep the fat loss that caused them in the first place. So far, we have covered your face, your waist, your energy, your breath, your bathroom trips, and your muscles. But the final sign is completely different, because sign number 7 does not show up in your body at all. It shows up somewhere far more important. It shows up inside your mind. Sign number 7. The fog lifts, and your mood and mental clarity come roaring back. This is my absolute favorite sign of all 7, and here is why. This is the one that tells you the most dangerous fat you own is finally leaving. Let us go back to that deep visceral fat one last time. Here is what makes visceral fat so sinister. It does not behave like normal fat. It behaves almost like a parasite, an uninvited organ living inside you. It actively pumps inflammatory chemicals directly into your bloodstream day and night. Researchers can actually measure this with markers like high-sensitivity C-reactive protein. And here is the part almost nobody talks about. That low-grade inflammation does not politely stay in your belly. It travels. It circulates through your whole body. Eventually, it reaches your brain. Scientists call this neuroinflammation, and it is linked to things you may have been blaming on stress, age, or just your personality. Brain fog, mood swings, irritability with no obvious cause, that heavy, flat, gray, blah feeling that seems to follow you around from morning until night. For years, you may have believed that fog was simply who you are. But ask yourself this question. What if it was your belly fat talking? Because here is the beautiful flip side. Research shows waist circumference is one of the strongest predictors of whole body inflammation that scientists have ever measured. And when visceral fat comes down, those inflammatory markers drop right along with it, sometimes dramatically. Less visceral fat simply means less inflammation everywhere, including your brain. Less inflammation means a quieter, clearer, sharper mind. So here's the sign. The fog lifts. You feel noticeably sharper at work. Words come to you faster. Your patience stretches longer. Your mood stops swinging for no reason. You wake up in the morning and the whole day somehow feels lighter than before. That mental shift is not your imagination, and it is definitely not a coincidence. It is the sound of the most inflammatory fat in your body leaving. When people tell me their head suddenly feels clearer, I tell them the same thing every time. That is your visceral fat losing its grip on you. And that is exactly the fat you want gone first, because it is the one quietly threatening your heart, your liver, and your future health. Now let us put all of this together, because I want you to notice something powerful about everything we just covered in these 7 signs. Not one single sign came from the scale. Your rings loosening, your waist shrinking, your energy holding steady through the afternoon without a crash or a snack, that strange metallic edge on your breath, the extra bathroom trips, the eye twitch and the midnight calf cramp, the mental fog finally lifting away. Every single one of these is your body telling you the truth, while the scale sits on your bathroom floor telling a story that is weeks behind. So here is what I need you to hear clearly. If you are experiencing even 2 or 3 of these signs right now, it is working. The machinery is running. The fat is leaving. You are likely days, not months, away from the scale finally catching up to what your body already knows. The most heartbreaking thing I see is people who start eating better, whose bodies genuinely begin changing, and then a small bump knocks them completely off course. They get a headache, a cramp, a stall on the scale, and they read those signals as failure. So they quit right before their breakthrough moment. They walk away from the vault, at the exact moment the lock finally clicks open. Do not let a misread signal steal your hard-earned momentum. Replace your minerals, drink your water, keep your protein up, keep walking after your meals, and most importantly of all, change your scoreboard starting today. Which brings me to the one thing I want you to do the very moment this video ends. Go find a tape measure, not the scale. Wrap it around your waist right at the belly button. Write that number down with today's date. Somewhere you will actually see it again next week. Then measure again once a week, first thing in the morning before food or coffee. This one tiny habit reveals the progress your scale keeps hiding. And if this video reframed the way you think about your own body, do me one favor. Send it to somebody in your life you truly care about. Because somewhere out there, someone is standing on a scale right now, staring at the same number from last week, quietly deciding whether to give up. This might be the exact thing that keeps them going. Their body is already winning. They just need a better scoreboard so they can finally see it.